Hey traders, so welcome to the last section of section 3, and for today I'll be talking to you about the Wyckoff schematics. So first of all, we have to give credit to Richard Wyckoff, who started the approach to this market, the composite man in terms of the smart money traders who are trading bigger amounts of money as compared to retail traders. And if you go through this link, right, where you can see on our Discord channel, you can actually see how prices are formed. For example, preliminary support, sudden climax, automatic rally, secondary test, and whatsoever. So the specifics of all of these could be easily found in this document that I'll be sending you. And in this example, I'm trying to tell you that in a typical schematic, we have an uptrend, for example, leaving behind an order block. So if you don't know what is an order block, please refer to section 3, part 1 again. And this is the last down move before the up move. So this will be an order block, and this will be an accumulation and distribution, which is talked about in section 2, because as prices comes back down, remember that you do not want a one directional move with little to no participation from both sides, correct? And in this case, we want the creation of liquidity. And creation of liquidity, as mentioned previously, could be in terms of a falling wedge, a triangle, or maybe a head and shoulders, or whatsoever, correct? And in this case, we are talking about Wyckoff as a accumulation and distribution schematic. So what does it mean? So for Wyckoff, we want to see a move down and create an equal low over here, followed by another up move, a down move, up move, and down move. So the specifics of this is not so important, but most importantly, as you can see, is the same idea of the creation of liquidity, just that in this case we are able to label them. So let me just label them for you. This would be your selling climax, this is your automatic rally, secondary test, this is your secondary test in phase B, and this is your spring. So if you take a look in the Wyckoff schematics, over here you have many different phases, right? So based on my personal experience from trading Wyckoff for a brief period of time, is that the phases, you do not necessarily need to identify the phases, but most importantly, it's the creation of liquidity. Basically, right, is the up and down movement before a strong breakout, leaving behind this order block. So this, more often than not, is Wyckoff distribution, all right? So all of these naming conventions, right, is just for prices to make sense. Basically, it's easier for you to understand if you can see the naming conventions. So this, before this selling climax, right, you do have this preliminary support. So it's the very first move that shows you a stronger rejection. So typically, if you see a move like this, then you see suddenly a stronger or huge retracement, and this marks your first preliminary support, followed by a selling climax, which usually happens after the preliminary support, followed by automatic rally. So this, the most important thing would be automatic rally, ST, STMB, and spring, because what does this secondary test and selling climax do? It creates liquidity below these areas. So can you imagine we have a trend line over here, and most of the time traders would like to wait for a pullback onto this trend line, catch a move up, right? But in this Wyckoff schematics, the creation of this trend line, or maybe equal lows, is for the removing of liquidity. So can you imagine that this, right, if you were to move it over, we can see like conventional trading for retail traders would be a double bottom. So this, in retail trading logic, is a double bottom, but in terms of Wyckoff schematics, this is your basically your SC, which is your selling climax, and your secondary test. So this secondary test is basically a test into previous order blocks over here. So can you imagine this leaving behind an order block? So let me just redraw, okay? So bringing this over, right, you have a move down, and then you see something like that. So imagine this as you zoom out. Maybe this is on the 5 minutes time frame, okay? Imagine you zoom out to the hourly time frame. You are likely to have a move like this, correct? Which is a double bottom. And in this case, this is just the down move to the up move that creates this order block for prices to tap into. And usually this is an order block, correct? So what I'm trying to say here, right, is this secondary test serves as a liquidation creating of liquidity over here for prices to eventually break down to grab more orders over here to make retail traders participate in this market. So you can imagine there are orders lying all around here. Okay, and your STMB will be is the last phase of the creation of liquidity for prices to take towards or break down towards into creating this spring. So this spring is important because this is not a spring unless it breaks the trading range, which is automatic rally over here. So let me remove this. So can you imagine this automatic rally, right, is your trading range from here towards your spring. Okay, so your spring can be anywhere inside of this area, and it should be inside any of this area in your demand zone, because this is your order block, correct? You want to find trading opportunities as prices steps into this zone, correct? And more often than not, the spring has to occur inside of your demand zone. So the spring is basically like a spring, correct? All of this is the compression of the spring, and a spring, can you imagine after you compress your spring, you let it go, you should see a strong move or buy side move towards the upside, breaking out of your automatic rally. Then this would be your break of structure. So when this happens, you have your break of structure, correct? And thus your spring has to create a one-dimensional move. The truth is that it doesn't have to be a one-dimensional move, okay? It can be a breakout, retest, and breakout. So this move has to be strong. And you can see clearly, you can have a minor break of structure first, pull back, and then a stronger breakout. So the most important thing you have to understand here is that this is your trading range from your automatic rally towards your spring. So for aggressive Wyckoff traders, if they see a move like this, breaking off immediate structure, and if there is an order block left behind here, they will actually take a trade and buy over here before a move off. So the conventional Wyckoff traders, right, will be waiting for a pullback after this break of structure, correct? This automatic rally. After it breaks this AR, it comes back, leaving behind an order block for them to catch. So this is a valid buy to push prices towards the upside. And this is a more conventional trading style. So let me just delete all this. Okay, so what happens if prices comes back? Let's say it creates an order block over here. This has a possibility for prices to push further down, right? And what happens? This will not be your spring. Instead, your spring will be here, and you create another STMB over here. STMB is basically secondary test in phase B, but remember that we are not so occupied with the phases in the market, correct? So you can have many STMBs as long as it doesn't break below the demand zone that you're looking at, okay? So this is basically our Q zone, or price of interest. So your spring can be anywhere inside of this demand zone. So similarly, if it managed to break this high over here, we can wait for a pullback into an order block for aggressive entry, or on a similar fashion, wait for the first move and a secondary move to break this automatic rally over here, or the AR, correct? And then wait for a pullback into this level. So this is typically how you trade Wyckoff. So let me give you an example of a live chart. So previously for Euro NZD, right, we do have this very nice order block over here. So can you see that the creation of this move, right, on a daily time frame for Euro NZD is generated from this move? Can you see this is a whole down move to the up move, correct? And this down move grabs liquidity of these areas. So you are actually able to find a Wyckoff schematics over here. So let me give you an example. Let me just label down. It happens everywhere, okay, Wyckoff. So this is your selling climax, your automatic rally, your ST, and this is your STMB slash spring. So can you see this is the equal lows created, and this in a sense, in terms of retail logic, it's your double bottom, right? And traders will look to buy over here. So double bottom into a 3-bar reversal, you are likely to buy here, right? For retail traders, you are trapped into buying here, stop loss below your this zone, and maybe you are looking for previous high over here, right? And you do get into profits for a while, but prices makes a breakdown, and most of the traders will have lost money here. So why is that so? Because this is the creation of liquidity for prices to make a down move, clearing the zones over here, including this area over here. So can you see you can even draw a trend line into this zone, and this is such a perfect double bottom into a trend line, correct? And there are many traders who are looking to participate here. And look what happened, it broke down before moving up. So what happens when prices breaks down? So can you imagine, as prices breaks down of this trend line and it tests over here. So imagine this is a support level, okay, a traditional support level. Prices broke down and retest, you see. So the best price you could get is possibly maybe this. If you take this candle as your breakdown retest, you put your stop loss over this high and you will aim for previous low, right? Doesn't matter because you get stopped out. And for traders who are late to the party, they usually get into this FOMO state, and this is a candle where they serve as a breakdown retest as well. You can see over here it tested, right? And what they do, they sell and maybe stop loss above the zone or even the highs, correct? And aim for previous low or whatever, right? And you can see this in return makes a strong buy side move up. So this is basically what we have been talking about, where prices makes this sort of a move, breaks down, creates this liquidity area for prices to move back towards, or traders to sell into this zone. And you can see that maybe you have a down move and a strong breakout. So this is the track laid down for retail traders to participate. So can you see this down move to up move has been redefined? So what do I mean by redefined? Let me just remove all this. Can you see that this is the whole down move before the up move? And we can label this as our order block, correct? But this order block has been mitigated when prices breaks this level. So can you see this is the candle? Sorry, no, this is the candle, the wick. This is the candle that breaks previous high, alright? And the next candle immediately retests the order block, which is this wick over here. It actually retests the order block. So this has been mitigated. So mitigated, that means prices come back to break even. Remember what happens here? The institutional traders sells into this zone. So in this case, it sold from here down before a move up. So when prices comes back up and tests into this area, they are at break even already, and that is why they exit their positions. And this is what they mean by mitigation of your order block. Basically, the mitigation of your order block is when prices taps into the down to up move. So in this case, let me repeat, down move to up move. Correct. This is the wick that justifies your order block, and this is the wick that retests the order block. Okay, so I will give you another example. So when prices makes a strong move up, you are waiting for a pullback, correct, towards where? So can you imagine, can you see again that prices comes back to retest this order block? So this is your last down. So this is your last down move to up move. So as much as possible, some of the mitigation areas or some of the selling positions from your institutional traders, right, hasn't been mitigated fully. So what do I mean by that? So imagine, can you sell, they sold a 50 billion worth of money over here, okay, 50 billion, let's say, and when prices taps into this zone, it cleared off maybe about 10 billion, okay, and when prices move off, they lost even more money, correct, because they sold here. So when prices moved off, they came back in over here, they are able to exit even more positions because the composite man or the institutional traders are always buying here and selling here and buying here. So why do they buy and sell in every market? Because institutional traders, hedge fund traders, and management or liquidity providers and market makers, right, they are the ones that drives the market, correct? So let's say they know that retail traders want to buy here. So for every buyer, there needs to be a seller, correct? And who are the ones that sell to you? It's the institutional traders in behalf of composite man. So for you to buy here, someone needs to sell you over here, correct? And more often than not is the institutional traders and the big players selling you. And that is why they are able to participate in all sorts of market, correct? Eventually pushing prices into this. So can you imagine after which, when prices comes back into this zone, they manage to break even out of their 40 billion, right? And buy over here instead. So let me just move on from here. So can you see this is another example? Prices has been making a down move all the way here. And what happens over here? We have a break of structure, okay? So in the sense of a retail logic, right, we have a down move. This is a clear downtrend, correct? And what happens now? We have a potential change in momentum, and we have a potential change in trend. So when prices breaks this level, it grabs all the liquidity, right? And when it comes back to a previous order block that hasn't got mitigated, and in this case you can see over here, prices has been making a down move or a downtrend move into this demand zone, and this demand zone is created over here, right? It broke out of structure, it came back to an area of order block. So can you imagine, this is an order block, correct? So for those who may not know why it is an order block, it's because on the lower time frame, this is the same move as this, okay? So let me just prove it to you. So imagine this is just a one down candle to the up candle, okay? That hasn't got mitigated. So can you imagine, this is the candle that breaks out of the down move to up move, correct? And this wick over here didn't actually test it. So this is a fresh demand zone that hasn't got mitigated, and it only got mitigated over here, right? So just go down to the lower time frame. So this is what I meant. This is the last down move to the up move that clears all of this liquidity over here. So we can even go lower, and it should tell you the same story, or actually paints the picture in a clearer way. So can you see the creation of liquidity inside this level? So you have these lows, you have lows, you have lows, and prices came back to grab all of it. You see, there are so many weeks over here where all the lows have been taken out, you see, before an up move. So this is actually an order block, right? So let's go back to the daily time frame, and over here you can see prices taps perfectly into this zone. So if you drop down to the lower time frame, because you have to understand that you are not just looking at daily time frame, because traders are participating in all markets, correct? And Wyckoff is fractal. So if you look at the 3-minute time frame, for example, over here, yep, or 5 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever, okay? So can you see that this is the creation of liquidity? You have lows that are taken out, you have lows that are taken out, lows that are taken out, and so on, correct? And you can easily create a Wyckoff schematic over here. So for example, you can have okay, look for the double bottom, which is here. So this is a trend line, correct? And we can place this as our selling climax, automatic rally. This is your ST, this is your STMP, this is your spring, correct? And you can see this huge move over here. And how did this huge move appear? It grabs these last liquidity areas over here, clears the lows before a down move to an up move. So can you imagine now that traders who did not specify this demand zone over here, or rather, most of the retail traders will actually place their support zone as this level, correct? Or maybe you have been taught to do that in the first place, but most of the traders will not know that this is a support zone or a demand zone created by institutional traders in terms of order blocks for prices to come back to mitigate their negative positions when they sold over here. And when prices taps into this, just look for a schematic. So let me go to the 5 minutes, okay? And with the similar schematic over here, using the Wyckoff theory, right, we are able to catch this down to up move. So prices makes a down move, clears liquidity, breaks out, this is an institutional shift, okay? And in terms of retail logic, right, when you see a huge move up, you're likely to catch a retest onto previous maybe support turn resistance or resistance turn support, correct, to catch this move up higher. And this is how we use the Wyckoff theory. So based on my experiment, before I tap into Wyckoff, right, I realized that if you have an up move over here, this is the support zone or demand zone, correct? Prices are likely to form this sort of movement before an up move. So then again, back to section 2 is the creation of liquidity, right? And we used to think that this is because there are weaker sellers over here, because you see prices are not one directional. Instead, it's sideways movement showing buying and selling pressure on both ends, correct? Which is not wrong because this is the creation of liquidity, as compared to a one directional move down over here, which so-called signify strong bearish momentum, correct? And this is not what is done in Smart Money Concepts. You can go through section 2 again, and if you realize this is the creation of liquidity, you see how prices are moving. It creates lots of lows and highs inside the market for prices to get up, to take them out, and to trap retail traders inside here. See, so we know that prices are not going to move anywhere because this is a sideways movement, right? But more often than not, you see this breakout, retest, traders want to sell, want to buy here, correct? And you see over here, prices breaks down, retest, traders want to sell here. But we know that in terms of Wyckoff schematics, there is no movement from us until a break of structure, and this should be your automatic rally. So once prices breaks out of this level, you'll come back to fulfill the unmitigated positions for you to catch a move over here, correct? To buy. And see, the thing about Wyckoff is, let's say this is on the 1 hour time frame, okay? As prices makes a breaks out and retest into this zone, you are able to modify this area, look deeper into this and before you buy. So basically, you could have bought over here, stop loss below this level, and maybe aim for somewhere higher, correct? Or you can, as a confirmation trader, you can actually look into this price action. So can you imagine this down move? Let me bring it down, okay? So this is a demand level. Prices makes a strong move up, right? And when prices comes back down, you can look for another Wyckoff distribution on the lower time frame. So let's say 5 minutes. You're looking for this sort of a move, breaks out, pull back, and long. So what is the difference? First, you get confirmation over here. Second, that is that you have your stop loss below this level. So can you imagine this is a demand zone? You're able to buy here, stop loss below this level. As compared to previously, you are buying here and stop loss below this spring. Right? So this is your spring in your demand zone. This is your spring on the demand zone, correct? So spring, spring, stop loss below spring, stop loss below spring, and you have very much of a different risk to reward. This is like 1:4, at least to 1:1.5 or 1:2, correct? So this is how you use Wyckoff distribution.